Hello everybody, Shadefyre here, and welcome to the start of this journey to the final station. This is a game that I recently did a first impressions on, and then later completed, and after completing it, I was left maybe a little dissatisfied, but at the same time I felt that this would be a good game to share all the way through with you guys, because it is a strange game. There are some interesting things in here, there are some disappointing things, especially in regards to the story, but overall I think it's a neat thing. It's got a great kind of environment, which, since we're going to be spending most of the game in that environment, is probably more important than the ultimate resolution. But anyhow, let's begin. One thing that'll quickly become clear through the text, because there will be a lot of text in this, there's no voice acting, is that this game is, I believe, developed by a Russian developer, Do My Best Games, and the dialogue was not presumably professionally translated because, you know, Russian is a difficult language to directly translate. Also, we're just kind of thrown here into a combat scenario, but that'll make sense. So this is the primary gameplay of the game. We will get our train later, but when you're not in a train, you're running around on foot, shooting stuff with a pistol or some other weapons we get later on. At the bottom you can see our health, our ammo, the amount of food we're carrying, which is not important while we're on foot, but it's just kind of a reminder. And of course the number of keys we're carrying, which is never too important. Alright. So yeah, I didn't skip any sort of intro or anything, this is just how it starts. Something going down here, like a prison. And the creepy guy with glowing white eyes. Some sort of congregation that doesn't seem too interested in us being here. Also, with glowing white eyes. So nothing we can do there. But it seems nicer out here. Unfortunately, we can't just, you know, hop in the water and swim away, so we'll head back inside. Oh, geez. Oop. So in addition to shooting, you also have a melee button. You can kill enemies by meleeing them, either by just punching them repeatedly, or you can charge it up, and you can one-shot enemies when it's fully charged. But usually it's a good way to save ammo when there's only one enemy, because you can punch much better than they can. Alright, so there's nothing out there. If we head down here, where this kind of sigil is, head down this way. Oh shit. And of course, it was a dream. And also a bit of a tutorial. You'll also notice that mention of this is the 106th year since the first visitation. I would tell you that the first visitation will perhaps be explained in more detail later, but I might be lying to you if I said that. A lot of both the backstory and the current story in this game is mostly up to interpretation based on notes and stuff we'll find. So this is our house. This is where we live in this strange world. I want to say it's post-apocalyptic, but it's more like post-apocalyptic. There was a horrible disaster with the first visitation, and then some sort of society reformed afterwards. All citizens aged 16 and over must attend the annual second visitation drill at the local response center. Next drill is scheduled for Friday. Administration of Armand White. So obviously, normally I wouldn't read the text because, you know, we all have eyes, but it's fairly small in this game, so I'll read some of it, I think. So this is a normal town, you know, it's not apocalyptic here, there's no black shadow people or anything like that. It's just a fairly normal town where people do fairly normal things. Okay. I guess we know the guy at this grocery store. And presumably this is Martin passed out down here. And since he's not looking, we'll dig around in this box. The Steam page for this game does describe this game as a sort of survival kind of sim. But really, resources are never limited enough for that to be true. The game kind of just throws you what you need, as much as you need almost. So we were on vacation, presumably we are getting back to our job now. And as you might guess, our job is that of a train driver. In fact, when we get our uniform here, we'll actually look the part, like we did in our dream. So, was this lady or fair-haired fellow peeking on us changing? Is that the implication there? Sure, this is a good idea. He's not the best train operator. What if something goes wrong? Calm down. I'll keep an eye on him. James, this is a very important train. I know. So, at every station we arrive at, whether it's a town or a disaster zone, we require a code for the blockers. Essentially, there are blockers on the train track that prevent us from progressing without the code. While you were away, they installed the new blockers, as he'll explain here. Boss left the code in his office. Enter it into the panel next to the train. I will give you more details as we travel. And then he disappears, which means he's gotten on our train. Speaking of trains, here it is. This is an experimental train that, even as the driver, we don't know very much about. And once you've punched in the code, you automatically get in your train and leave for the next station. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of combat in this first episode because we're in the safe part of the world. So we've got our little control panel here. These are various other people that sometimes will contact us. We can craft stuff here, specifically medkits and ammo. And then this is our route map. So right now we're heading to Nimlar, a small provincial capital, shopping center for people from nearby towns. Headquarters of business agency Praxi is also located here. So yeah, this is the other half of the gameplay when we're on the train. And as he mentions here, it's not in great condition, which is why it's sparking here. So essentially we just have to do a bunch of little mini tasks to keep it from breaking down. Like occasionally pulling that lever. Generally all that means is that there'll be one piece that's broken, and we'll need to tamper with it for that trip. And it kind of changes every time. So it's a fairly short trip. We should be heading back home in no time. You'll see that he has a health and a hunger meter. Like, that seems a little awkward there. Sure thing. I mean, he's pretty much just explaining what I explained. But yeah, so in addition to managing our broken subsystems, we also need to manage our passengers' health and hunger. Generally, health won't go down unless their hunger is all the way empty, unless they're injured. And to fix that, we just need to throw them a med kit. And obviously food, when it goes down, we feed him again and they'll be fine. If we can get him to the end of the chapter alive, we'll get his reward. So let's throw him some food, because his status does carry over to the next time we're in the train. He doesn't eat in between. Alright. And at any point, once we hit the rhyme, we can just hit this. It's nice that it doesn't force you to do that, though, because sometimes conversations will still be going when you have arrived. And conversations don't run when you're not in the passenger car. So they'll wait for you to come back to continue talking. Alright. We're late. No express train today. So they'll get on our train instead. So presumably we're getting actually pulled off of our vacation early to get this run done. She says we can wait here, but honestly, we have to go find him. New blockers, there's twice as much work to do. Idiots in the government. Yeah, tell me about it. Okay, we can't just loot this guy's locker. So we're in another safe town. I do think this game has a pretty good soundtrack. Whether it's these calm tracks or some of the later, more tense stuff. The new cashier is awful. Get rid of him and find a new one. Just steal this person's glasses. So when you find stuff like glasses and stuff like that, it just gets directly converted into money. Presumably we sell it somewhere. And then we can use money, obviously, buy food and stuff like that. Communication problems on the west coast. The areas next to the border of the first contact are unresponsive. We are waiting on the details. So it's unclear where this really takes place. Presumably not in America, but there's something about the lingering effects of the first visitation. Get up at 6:40. Drink a quart of milk. Run 5 miles. Repeat every day. That's how you get swole. Well, at least he got to the milk part. Because you had a white outline, so obviously I had to talk to you. I couldn't find approach to Adam. He is just like his father. So obviously a little bit more awkward translation there. What do we do now? We need to find a detour. I know it is a big bulk, but if we can transfer it out of Ristol, we are set for life. Can't get in there, and we can't go up, so let's just carry on. You'll notice this big, like, citadel tower in the background. We'll be seeing a few of those throughout the game. This must be the station manager. Don't take anything else from my locker, please. Need a couple more coins for the beer. Well, it's up to you. Sometimes boxes accidentally fall on people's heads. I'm not really sure what he means by that. I don't know if he's saying that sometimes he drops boxes on people so he can steal their money, or if that's a reference to something, but that's a weird line. And most areas, once you've reached your objective, have a underground shortcut you can take to not have to backtrack. It's never really explicitly explained, even in kind of side notes, but from what I understand, in this world, the trains are the only real long-distance travel available. People still drive, but gas is very limited, and I guess there are no planes anymore. Traveled here from Morgenstern. To find out, 2 screws were unscrewed. Alright. So now we just gotta head back to the locker, get the code, get out of here. Unfortunately, we don't have the option to steal anything from him. I mean, requisition. Alright. I was gonna say on the road again, but I guess we're on the rails again. so this time it's this thing that's broken. Here, the voltage will just sort of build up and we just need to tap it down to 0 again. Well, that probably doesn't bode well if the train has suddenly gone out of touch. But we'll be hearing about that scheduled train more and more as we go. This exclamation mark means that we have a message from somebody, or contact from somebody, another train operator. Or I guess this guy is just an operator in general. No, route changes, the communication problems in the south, he said? Yeah. Alright, so looking at our route map here, we're heading to Central Station Keskis. Built before the first visitation. Nope. So yeah, if we don't fix this, sometimes something like the ventilation goes off, and then they start dying because there's no air. They make it sound like there's only one scheduled train. Maybe there is. Maybe there's only one train that normally runs this route. Hello? The code? Oh yeah, the code. There's a manual somewhere here on how to print it out. Give me a couple of minutes. So basically he means go wander around until you've triggered the code. Michael has some troubles with the patrol. Well, who's Michael and who's Amanda? No, we're heading south anyway. We'll take you with us. Well, sorry lady, we already came from the north. Alright, so here we can buy some food, but you can see it's pretty pricey, so we can only afford to buy one. Maybe on the way back. After we've stolen from some locals. There's another one of those towers. Where is my meat? I guess we tried to order something too fancy. I feel like triple cooked meat would be pretty chewy and kind of gross. I don't know anything about no guardian. Or any underground shelters. And as you might expect, there's a hint of military oppression going on here. But what's the point of a military if they can't even keep the trains running on time? You'll be a dead meat, just one. Not even a triple cooked dead meat. So we're just not going to interfere with what's going on there. We're just going to get back on our train. Didn't you read the note downstairs? Apparently she's looking for Michael. Now, I suppose we have to actually read this. And I think we'll actually end here. Obviously there's not too much going on just yet, but things will pick up shortly. Till next time, I've been Shadefyre, and this is the final station. Well, I mean, this isn't the final station, but the game is the final station. And I hope you'll join me on the rail wheel again next time.